What's up guys, how you all doing? So, I have decided to make this video series on how to make money. Now, so many of you ask me, how can I do spread betting, how can I trade shares, how can I trade Bitcoin, and all with the overall result of being able to obviously make money. Now, the first thing to always remember in all of these different scenarios is that, like anything, there is no quick fix. The couple of the things that I always sort of stand by in life are a couple of these sentences. So the first one is, what you put in is what you get out. And that is literally what I kind of build my life around. Now, that relates to pretty much everything. That relates to relationships with your partner, relationships with your family, relationships with your girlfriend, with your husband, whatever it might be. I believe that relates to it. It also relates to children, to pets, to anything. Whatever you put into it is whatever you're going to get back out. The more you put in, the more you get back out. The second one is that there really is no quick fix to making money. The way that you go about doing anything in life is by working extremely hard. Now, for example, with spread betting, you can't just jump in and create yourself an account on IG Index and start making loads and loads of money, because if that was the case, everyone would be doing it and it would be simple and easy. You've got to study like the mechanics of a specific commodity maybe, or a specific market for a period of time, and understand different elements that influence that market, like the gold price to the dollar price, all these different relationships, to have any potential to make money from it. You can't just jump in and expect to just start making money. Now, I'm going to do a few of these videos, like I said, and the first one I'm going to talk about today is a very popular subject at the moment, and that is Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin is a electronic currency, a purely electronic currency, and there's various different ways you can actually go about making money with Bitcoin. Now, one thing that's important to understand is that there's no real kind of substance behind Bitcoin. The value of Bitcoin really is completely determined via the confidence in the price of Bitcoin. So as people are willing to pay more money for it, the value of it goes up. As people kind of see it as a lesser value, then the value goes down. There is Bitcoin mining and there's various other things as well that do influence it, but that's the overriding factor. So because of that, my arm is aching, because of that, it's a very volatile market. So it can go up and down drastically within a very short period of time. Now, today, for example, I don't know if you can see here, this is actually a Bitcoin chart here. It's pretty much been sitting around the $112 mark all day long, but you can get days where it can go from 80 to 160. There was a day when it went from something like 20 or 30 up to 250. This is all in dollars. So it's a very, very volatile market. Now, what that means is that it's very, very easy to potentially make money, but it's just as easy to lose money. So you've got to be very, very careful about the way in which you actually go about investing in Bitcoin. Now, I've been looking at it for quite a while now and kind of monitoring the ups and downs and this, that and the other. So I've got a fair idea of the kind of trends that it takes, and I've been fairly successful in making a little bit of money from it. Now, there's a few ways in which you can make money from Bitcoin. The first one, and the same one which goes for pretty much anything in life, is you can buy low, sell high. I know that's a bit of a cliche, but that is obviously a fact. If you go in and buy a single Bitcoin for $100, for example, and it goes up to $200 and you sell it, you've obviously made a profit of $100. Now, another way to make money with Bitcoin is to spread bet on it. Now, if you go to somewhere like igindex.co.uk, you can actually bet upon the value of Bitcoin at a specific moment in time. So you can say, potentially, by the end of May, I expect Bitcoin to be over $150 or under, and you'll get odds based upon those different kind of figures. Pardon me. Now, another way to make money from Bitcoin is to actually trade the exchanges, so to speak. So with Bitcoin, there's a whole number of different exchanges. So you've got like Gox, you've got Bitstamp, you've got Bitcoin Central. There's a whole bunch of different exchanges that have their own price for what they consider to be the price of a Bitcoin. Now, what you can actually do is you can trade those exchanges, like I said. So if you find, for example, an exchange that is often a lot less, or not a lot, you're never going to get a huge amount of difference, but if you find an exchange that, let's say for example, a Bitcoin is worth $90, you can simply buy a Bitcoin on there for $90, and then you can transfer it to a different exchange where it's worth $100, and therefore you've made a $10 profit. Now bear in mind that there are potentially charges as you transfer between, so it's never going to be you know, the exact amount of difference that you're gaining in profit, but there is a potential to make money that way. You can simply buy on an exchange where the price is lower than on another exchange, move it to an exchange where the price is higher per Bitcoin, and then sell and get your money back. So that is another way to make money with Bitcoin. Now really the last way is more of a long-term investment. Now if you are someone who believes, for example, like I am, that the future value of a Bitcoin is going to be higher in a year or 2 years time or 6 months, whatever you decide upon, than it is now, then obviously you can buy a number of Bitcoins, leave it in there for that whole period of time, ride the ups and downs, and think that at the end of it, a single Bitcoin or a number of Bitcoins is going to come out at a higher value than it is now. So they're really kind of all the different ways in which I think that you can potentially make money with Bitcoin. Like I say, with all of these things, you can lose money just as easily as you can make money. So it's very important to have a good understanding of it. And I always say, you know, never kind of trade or bet, or however you want to put it, more money than you can afford to lose. So be very, very careful about that. But anyway, guys, I hope you found that a little bit interesting or a little bit useful. I know a lot of you ask me, and I just wanted to kind of cover a few bits off with you. So thank you very much for watching that. If you want to see more videos in this series, then please do hit that like button. The more likes I get, the more likely I am to do it. And I will see you all in the next video. See ya.